Hey guys, Jonah here, back with another beer review, and this is going to be the first of a kind of three-part series, let's call it. This is one of the beers that I got, or all three of these, the trifecta, the trio, I got from Black Friday via the Royston. So thank you very much, Andy, and thank you for giving me the discount on this. Um, yeah, because it's Black Friday. Ah, Black Friday. Here we go. It's this beer. It's from, or all of the beers, I should say, are from Forest Road. And I don't think that's a spelling mistake because it's Forest with a single R, not a double R. From London, well, London, here. And these guys are from Lewisham, I believe, which is in the east, southeast, which is my side of London. And yeah, Lewisham's kind, for those of you that don't know, you could Google it, obviously, but it's kind of slightly more into the centre than Greenwich. It's kind of more or less next to Greenwich and Deptford and that kind of stuff. So Lewisham's there before you get more into kind of central, like Bermondsey and stuff. It's not that far in. Anyhow, this is their pale ale called Ride. Weirdly, the actual name of the beer is tiny compared to the thing. Oh, I just noticed. You turn it round. There you go, right up there on the front. It's a gluten-free beer, and it's the Emerald City Brewery. Now, interestingly, the brewery that Forest Road have got is the ex-equipment from Russian River, which is basically one of the best breweries, arguably in the world. Definitely one of the better breweries from America. They do things like Pliny, I believe, the Elder and Younger. Unfortunately, I've not tried those beers, but never mind. There we go. Forest Road Brewing Co. Elizabeth Industrial Estate in SE14, which is Lewisham. It is 4.6 on the ABV. And then, oh my God, my eyes. Water, barley, hops, and yeast. Nice and easy. We are obeying the Rhine hotspot, which is kind of cool. And I am on Untapped today for my working out what this is. Look, there's a nice black top, but a silver bottom. Outrageous. Yeah, so let me hold this back up again. So the hops in here are Idaho 7, Willamette, Cascade, and Citra, which is cool. So this is going to be a full-on American pale ale. I'm going to check the sell-by because I think that one of the reasons why these beers were on offer was because some of them, don't know if this one was slightly, I say slightly, beyond its sell-by, but that's fine. Beer, especially beer in cans, tends to do quite well. Right, let us get this bad boy into a glass. Boom. Any floaty bits? No, we're not doing too bad. Right, what's this say? 24. So yeah, we're cool. We are well within the date. I'm going to use that action shot of the pouring at the front of this video. There we go. Nice, good old finger's head. Nice amount of carbonation. You can see the bubbles coming up, even if it's not going to focus too much. That head, though, absolutely lovely, crystal clear. I'm loving. Well, those of you that know me know that I love head, and oh, there's something to be said about a pure as the driven snow type head. It's one of those things in life that I just like. I don't mind a brown head as well. It's not too bad. It's a tanned head, sometimes they call it. A tanned cap. And that colour, It's coming through like an old school West Coast IPA, even though this is a pale ale. Definitely kind of, yeah, got a hint of the crystal malt about this bad boy. Not sure if that's what they use, but they've definitely added something to colour it a bit more. It's a little bit more orange than pure kind of yellow, if that makes sense. It's a bit darker than gold, I would say, as well. Getting on for amber, but not quite there. Fruitiness on the nose, but nothing outrageous. Um, Getting a bit of peach, a bit of kind of fruit. Um, Not so much on the kind of greenery, but maybe that will come through in the actual taste itself. But it's, yeah, it's not super aromatic, which is kind of interesting. I think this is going to be a slightly more West Coast than an East Coast kind of thing. Anyway, cheers and beers, dear viewer. Hopefully you've enjoyed the reviews. They're going to come thick and fast throughout December. So usually under normal circumstances, I tend to only do one review per day. But I'm definitely aiming to try and do two per day. Maybe not every day. We'll see how things go. But that's got to be worth a thumbs up. Why not join the John Army? Click subscribe, all that kind of jazz. It really does help me out. Cheers and beers, guys. Oh, wow. That's quite interesting. That does have quite a bitter kind of hit to it, but it comes through reasonably sweet to start with. Um, I'm not saying there's any interesting kind of thing with regards to the malt, but as you're drinking, you do get quite a nice sweetness. But as soon as you swallow, that bitterness comes through. It's got that kind of zesty, pithy, kind of grapefruit juicy type thing to it. So yeah, quite interesting. Pardon me. Hop wise, that citra is coming through. So there is a bit of greenness, not super dank, but definitely kind of a damp forest type citra is coming through. It's a little bit muted. Now, I'm not sure if this is because this potentially is a slightly older batch, and yeah, it's a little bit outside its sell by date, but not massively so. I think it was sometime in the summer, if I remember from the bottom. I'm not going to look again, it doesn't matter. Um, but perhaps it's gone a little bit too long. Maybe it's gone a little bit too kind of grapefruity and stuff. Um, yeah, not superbly bad, but a little bit more bitter perhaps than the brewer might have intended. And that I think that's pretty good for what did I say it was 4.5, 4.6 percent pale ale to be quite bitter. Interesting. A lot of people back in the day, and I'm talking at least 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, were really pushing super bitter beers, but they don't really do that so much now. It was more IPAs and not pale ales themselves, but I did have some heavily hopped high IBU pale ales. They weren't hazy like this, but makes you think, doesn't it? Things kind of go around, and every now and then you taste something and it jogs the memory of something back in the dusty recesses. And if it's anything like my mind, it will be the spider webs that inhabit some of my memory back in those days. Ah, cheers. Oh, it's nice. It's a bit of a cacophony, but like I say, when you have really fresh hops in a beer, it's usually in cask beers, to be perfectly honest. Um, some people try and sell their cans and say, "Oh, this is you've got to drink it fresh" and all that kind of stuff. But um, knowing kind of canning lines and that kind of thing, they are not quite as honest about the dates, perhaps, as they could be. Um, I remember Budweiser famously has a born-on date, so it doesn't have a best before, but it says this is when we brewed it, which I think is a genius idea because you know exactly how old that beer is, as opposed to some kind of date that some it's regulation basically determines best before dates and that kind of stuff, which is not as useful as it could be. So yeah, Budweiser, not all that bad. But yeah, a lot of people trade, especially with the danker beers. They say you got to drink them reasonably fresh because they do change over time. And perhaps this one is a little bit more muted, a bit more kind of dusty, that kind of thing. But hey, I got money off it, so I'm not complaining. Ooh, and there we go. Nice amount of lacing for a kind of nice pale ale. And there's a sort of looks like one of those horse things that inhabits the side of the sides of hill forts or something in Oxfordshire. The Uffington horse. You know what that is? Or if you look at it the other way, it looks perhaps like a rabbit or something. Who knows? Anyhow, the first one down of the Forest Road series. So join me hopefully tomorrow. And I'm definitely going to be doing another Advent beer. But until then, this has been Uncle Jonah saying, please look after yourselves, look after each other, and come back real soon because I will have another beer review to you enjoy.